The night was quiet on Colony-9. Jay sat alone, fixing a broken drone in the workshop. He had done this job for years. Every day was the same: wake up, work, eat, sleep. Nothing exciting ever happened here. Until tonight. Suddenly, a loud boom shook the sky. The ground trembled. Tools fell from the shelf. Jay stood up fast, his heart beating hard. He ran outside. Others were already looking up. A fireball streaked through the sky, heading toward the forest near the colony. A ship crashing. The siren started blaring. Unknown object entered airspace. The loudspeakers said, "Stay inside. This is not a drill." People panicked. Doors slammed shut. Families locked themselves in. But Jay didn't move. He stared at the smoke rising from the trees. Something inside him said, "Go." Now Jay grabbed his coat and a small scanner. He slipped through a side gate while the guards weren't looking. The forest was dark and cold. The smell of burning metal filled the air. Jay followed the smoke until he saw it. A silver ship, half buried in the ground. Trees around it were on fire. Lights on the ship flickered weakly. It wasn't a design Jay recognized. He moved closer, his scanner beeping softly. Then he saw her, a girl. She was sitting just outside the ship, leaning against a rock. Her skin was smooth and pale, almost glowing in the dark. Her hair shimmered like silver threads. She wore a strange suit with glowing lines on it. Jay stopped. His mouth opened slightly. She looked beautiful, but not human. Her eyes opened. Slowly, they were bright violet. She looked straight at him. Then she spoke, in perfect English. "Do you recognize me, human?" Jay blinked. What? The girl smiled weakly. "You don't remember me, do you?" He stepped back. Who are you?" She reached into a small pouch on her side and pulled something out. It was old and dusty. She pressed a button. A tiny tune played. Jay froze. It was a music box. A melody he hadn't heard in years. A simple song from his childhood. "I gave you this when I was 6, she said softly. "You lived next door to me. On Earth." Jay shook his head. "No, that can't be. Earth was destroyed 10 years ago." "Yes," she said. "I know. I was there." Jay didn't know what to say. His mind was racing. How could this alien girl know that song? How could she look like this and speak like this? She was human. Or at least she used to be. He looked at her again. Her face did seem familiar, like someone from a dream. But different. Changed. You're not lying?" he asked. "My name is Lena," she said. "I was your neighbor. We played together every day." Jay remembered a little girl with brown hair and bright eyes. Always smiling. Always curious. He looked at Lena again. Now she had violet eyes, silver hair, alien tech on her skin. "What happened to you?" he asked. She looked down. "It's a long story, but I need help." "Please, they'll find me soon." "Who?" Before she could answer, Jay's scanner beeped louder. Multiple heat signatures. "Ships incoming." Lena's eyes widened. "They're here. Who's here?" Jay said. "Bounty hunters," she said. "They tracked my ship. They want me alive or dead." Jay looked back at the direction of the colony. No one would help. If he brought her there, Earth Command would lock her up or worse. He took a deep breath. "Can you walk?" he asked. Lena nodded slowly. Jay held out his hand. "Come on, let's move." They ran through the trees as fast as they could. Behind them, small black scout ships landed near the crash. Flashlights cut through the smoke. Jay led her to an old hideout, a cave he used as a teen. He covered the entrance with rocks and sat beside her, breathing hard. "Thank you," Lena whispered. Jay looked at her again. "Are you really Lena?" he asked. "My neighbor?" She looked into his eyes. "I was. I still am. But I'm also something else now." "What do you mean?" Before she could answer, a loud voice echoed outside. "Attention! We know you're hiding someone. Hand over." The fugitive alien, and no one gets hurt. Jay's hands tightened into fists. Lena looked at him with calm eyes. If you stay with me, they'll come after you too, she said. Jay didn't speak. He stared at the entrance of the cave. He had a choice to make. The cave was cold and quiet, but Jay could feel his heart pounding like a drum. Outside, voices and footsteps came closer. Searchlights moved across the forest, cutting through the dark. Lena sat beside him, breathing slowly, eyes closed. She looked calm, but Jay knew she was scared. He was too. He had just made a choice that could change his life forever. He had helped an alien fugitive, a girl who said she was his childhood friend, a girl who looked nothing like a human now. Jay leaned close and whispered, "Why do they want you?" Lena opened her eyes. "Because I'm not supposed to exist," Jay frowned. "You said you were my neighbor, but now you're different. What happened to you?" Lena didn't answer right away. She reached into her jacket and pulled out a small folded photo. It was old and torn. Jay took it and held it close to his face in the dark. Two children stood smiling in the picture, a boy with messy hair, a girl with brown eyes and a gap in her teeth. That was Jay, and that was Lena. He stared at the photo in silence. His throat felt tight. He remembered the day it was taken, a summer day. Water balloons, laughter, then the alarms, the evacuation, the panic, and then Earth was gone. "I thought you died that day," Jay said quietly. "I almost did," Lena replied. "But I wasn't taken to safety. I was taken somewhere else." Jay looked at her, confused. "What do you mean?" Lena looked away, her voice low and flat. "Pirates found me during the chaos. They sold me. Experiments were done. Changes made. They erased my name, my face, everything." Jay felt cold. "Experiments? They wanted to make someone useful, strong, smart, not fully human, not fully alien, just ... something in between." Her fingers traced the glowing lines on her arm. "I was changed over and over. But my memories, my heart, they didn't take those." Jay couldn't speak. He looked at her glowing skin, her strange eyes, and then back at the photo. It was her. Somehow it really was her. Outside, a loud crash echoed through the trees. Then shouting. The bounty hunters had found the wrecked ship. Jay peeked through a small hole in the cave wall. Flashlights were moving fast. They were close. "We can't stay here," he said. Lena nodded. "There's an old tower nearby. If we reach it, I can jam their scanners for a few minutes. That's all we'll have." Jay helped her up. She was still weak. Her knees shook, but she forced herself to walk. They moved quietly through the woods, stepping around dry leaves and fallen branches. Jay led the way, checking his scanner every few seconds. Then, suddenly, Lena stopped. "What is it?" Jay whispered. She pointed. "That clearing. That's where your dog used to run." Jay turned slowly. The memory hit him like a wave. A large open field. A brown dog named Max, barking happily. Lena always laughing, running after him. He swallowed hard. "You remember all that?" "Of course," she said. "I remember everything. I held on to those memories. They kept me alive." Jay didn't say anything. He just walked forward. The tower wasn't far now. When they reached it, Lena sat at the old control panel. Her fingers moved fast, typing codes Jay had never seen. The screen blinked red, then green. Static filled the air. Scanner jammed. "We have 3 minutes," she said. Jay helped her up again. They headed toward a hidden tunnel behind the tower, one that led back to the colony's underground maintenance route. Jay used to play there as a kid. No one would think to look for them there. Before they entered, Lena stopped and looked at him. "You're risking everything for me," she said. Jay looked her in the eyes. "You saved my life once, Lena, when I fell in the river. You pulled me out. I was scared, but you didn't leave me." She smiled softly. "I remember that. Now it's my turn." They disappeared into the tunnel just as a search drone flew overhead. It scanned the ground, then moved on. Inside the tunnel, the light was dim, but safe. Jay sat down to catch his breath. Lena leaned against the wall. "I want to know everything," Jay said. "Who did this to you? Why? And how do we stop them?" Lena looked ahead into the dark tunnel. "We can't stop them yet," she said. "But I'll tell you everything. About the black market, the lab, and the people who turned me into this." Jay nodded slowly. He had no idea what kind of storm he was stepping into, but deep down, he knew one thing: this was just the beginning. Jay couldn't sleep. The tunnel was quiet, but his mind wasn't. Lena had fallen into a light rest, sitting against the cold wall. Her breathing was soft and slow, but her body never fully relaxed like she was used to sleeping with one eye open. Jay watched her in the dim light, trying to understand what he had gotten himself into. Just 3 days ago, he was fixing broken machines, complaining about boring shifts and dry food. Now he was helping an alien fugitive who claimed to be his childhood neighbor. And the worst part? He believed her. When the scanner on his wrist buzzed faintly, he jumped. Someone was moving near the edge of the tunnel. Jay tapped the screen, too many signals to count. He nudged Lena awake. "They're scanning again," he whispered. She opened her eyes slowly. "We need to move, now." Jay helped her up, and they slipped deeper into the maintenance tunnel. The farther they went, the darker it got. Their boots echoed softly on the metal floor. Jay's flashlight flickered, but he kept going. After a while, Lena stopped walking. "There's a door here," she said. "Hidden. I remember it." Jay looked around. There was nothing but wall and rusted pipes. "You sure?" "Yes. When I escaped the black market, I memorized every route they used. Some of them pass under this colony." She pressed her hand against a metal panel. For a second, nothing happened. Then the wall clicked and shifted. A hidden door slid open with a soft hiss. Jay stared in shock. Behind the wall was a small room, dark, quiet, filled with old tech and dust. Lena walked in like she had been there before. This place was used to move people who weren't supposed to exist, she said. Jay looked around. It felt like a ghost place. Broken chairs, old clothes, crates with alien writing. He touched a helmet lying on the floor. It had a tracker device inside. "What is all this?" Lena sat on a crate. "This is where they prepared us for sale. After they changed us." Jay turned to her slowly. "Sale?" She nodded. "I was sold 3 times. First to scientists who injected alien DNA into my body. Then to a lord who wanted a living translator. Then finally to a black market auction house on Vega 7. Jay clenched his jaw. "How did you escape?" "I didn't," she said. "Someone helped me." "Who?" Lena looked at him with tired eyes. "Another one like me. Human, but changed. His name was Oro. We broke free together, but we got separated." Jay sat down across from her. "They put alien DNA in you. Many types. To make me faster, smarter, and harder to trace. But they didn't expect my human side to stay strong. My memories, my emotions, they stayed. I held onto your name, your face. You were my anchor." Jay didn't know what to say. His chest felt tight. He had no idea someone out there had remembered him for 10 years, while he had forgotten everything. Lena reached into a pouch on her belt and pulled out a small disc. "This is my tracker," she said. "It's still active. They can trace me if I move too far from here." Jay took it from her, looked at the blinking red light. "Can I destroy it?" "No, it's coded to my body. If you break it, I go into shock. We need a code to shut it down safely." Jay thought for a moment. "Is there anyone you trust who has that code?" Lena hesitated. "Only one, Oro. but I don't know if he's still alive." Before Jay could speak, the wall behind them vibrated. A loud noise echoed through the pipes. They both stood up fast. "Someone's here," Lena whispered. Jay turned off the flashlight and pulled her behind a large crate. Through a small crack in the wall, he saw shadows moving, black boots. Quiet. Steps. Bounty hunters. Lena held her breath. One of the men tapped on the wall, then scanned it. The scanner made a soft ping. Jay's heart almost stopped, but then a voice came through the radio. "Nothing here. Move to Sector 4, the footsteps." Faded, Jay exhaled slowly. "We have to leave this place. It's not safe anymore." Lena nodded. "Then we find Aura. If he's alive, he can shut off the tracker. And he knows what's coming." Jay looked at her. "Coming?" She stared into the dark tunnel, her voice quiet. "They're not just hunting me, Jay. They're hiding something. The black market isn't just selling people. They're building something." Jay narrowed his eyes. "What?" "A copy of Earth," she said. "For the rich. A fake world. A lie, and they'll kill anyone who remembers the real one." Jay felt a chill run down his spine. "Then we're not running anymore," he said. "We're fighting back." The stolen ship was shaking as it rose into the black sky. Jay gripped the controls tightly, trying to keep it steady. Lena sat beside him, her eyes scanning the monitors. Behind them, the engine roared like thunder. Alarms were still flashing. The ship had been locked in Earth Command storage for years. And now it was flying again, without permission. Jay didn't speak. He couldn't. Not yet. He had just stolen a government ship. They would call him a traitor, a criminal, a helper of fugitives. And he had done it all for someone he hadn't seen since he was a boy. Someone who wasn't even fully human anymore. Lena touched the screen. "We have 1 minute before they launch pursuit ships." Jay's hands moved fast across the console. He set random coordinates, masked the ID codes, then hit the final button. The ship vanished into jump space. The stars around them turned to light dot in the silence that followed. Jay let out a long breath and looked at her. "Where do we go now?" Lena answered without looking up. "To the outer line. I know someone." "Who can help us?" Jay leaned back. His head was spinning. He had just left behind everything: his job, his home, his name. And he still didn't know how this all started. Or where it would end. He looked at Lena's hands. Her fingers were shaking, just a little. She was strong, smart, quiet, but she was tired. She had been running for too long. He opened his mouth. "You said someone helped you escape. Aura, is that who we're going to?" She nodded. "He runs between systems. Smuggler, engineer, thief. He hates the black market more than anyone." Jay thought about it. "Can we trust him?" "He saved my life twice," she said. "But he doesn't trust anyone." Jay looked out the window. "That makes 3 of us." They didn't speak for a while. The stars outside blurred as the ship moved deeper into unknown space. Jay thought about the stories Lena had told. A fake Earth, rich aliens buying perfect copies of cities, a secret project hidden behind bounty hunters in silence. And now they were a part of it. When the jump ended, the ship shook again. They were near a broken moon, orbiting a dead planet. Space junk floated like frozen bones all around them. In the distance, a large station sat hidden inside an asteroid. "That's the place?" Jay asked. "Yes," Lena said. "Oral lives inside the rock." Jay flew the ship forward. As they got closer, auto turrets moved and locked onto them. Lena sent a signal. A few seconds later, the guns went offline. The ship entered a hidden hangar and landed with a soft thud. Jay grabbed a tool from under the seat. Not a weapon, but it could be one if needed. Lena adjusted her jacket and stepped out. The inside of the station was dark, filled with cables and broken machines. Small lights glowed from above, showing strange marks on the walls. It felt like Walking into an old cave one built from stolen tech. Footsteps echoed ahead. A tall man appeared from the shadows. His skin was dark, covered in glowing tattoos. One of his eyes was cybernetic, blinking softly. He wore a long coat and held a small device in his hand, like a pulse grenade. Lena stepped forward. "Oro," the man stopped. He stared at her for a moment. Then he smiled. "You're still alive." Lena nodded. "Barely." Oro looked at Jay. "And who's this?" "Another lost child from Earth?" Jay held his ground. "I'm the one flying this ship." Oro raised an eyebrow. "Then I like you already." He turned and walked deeper into the station. "Come, we don't have much time." Inside the control room, Lena explained everything. The tracker, the memory injections, the fake Earth. Oro listened carefully. When she finished, he didn't speak right away. He turned toward a screen showing star maps and colony routes. "It's worse than I thought," he said finally. "They're copying Earth one piece at a time. Old cities, weather, even people. Soon, the real history will be gone." Jay stepped forward. "Why? Why do all this?" Oro looked at him. "Because the rich want the past. A clean version of it. No war, no pain. No poor people, just sunlight and good memories. And they'll erase anyone who remembers the real thing." Jay clenched his jaw. "So what do we do?" Oro pulled out a data drive. "We steal the proof. The Central Archive. It holds names of every stolen person, every false memory, every experiment." Lena stood. "That's suicide." "Maybe," Oro said. "But it's the only way." Jay looked at them both. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't brave. But he was angry now. Angry for Earth, for Lena, for the truth. "Then let's do it," he said. "Let's take back what they stole." Lena smiled for the first time in days. And far above them, in the cold space between stars, Earth Command started to notice that two of their targets were no longer running. They were coming straight for the heart. The ship was quiet again, but not peaceful. Jay stood alone in the hallway, watching Lena through the glass. She was inside the medroom, strapped to a safety chair. Her hands were shaking. Her eyes were closed. Small wires were connected to her head, glowing with blue light. Oro worked at the console nearby, watching her brain activity on the screen. Jay had seen many strange things in the last few days. Bounty hunters, alien tech, underground labs. But nothing scared him more than what was happening now. Lena wasn't sleeping. She wasn't even fully awake. She was trapped between memories. Except some of those memories weren't hers. Her mind is splitting, Oro said without turning around. The DNA they used in her body came from 5 species. Each one has its own echo. Now they're pushing back. Jay stepped closer to the glass. "Can you stop it?" "No," Oro said. "But maybe I can help her remember which one she really is." Jay didn't like the sound of that. "What if she loses herself completely?" Oro looked at him. "Then we lose her forever." Inside the chair, Lena opened her eyes, but they were different now. One eye still violet, the other suddenly yellow and glowing. Her voice came out strange. "You are not real. This life is false." Jay's heart skipped. He turned to Oro. "That's not her." "No," Oro said calmly. "That's the Dravari. Memory speaking. Cold species. Logic-driven. It doesn't care about humans or pasts. It only survives." Jay walked into the medroom before Oro could stop him. "Lena," he said firmly. "You're in there. I know you are." The yellow eye blinked. "You are not important." Jay stepped closer. "Yes, I am. I was your friend. I gave you a music box. I pulled you out of the river when you couldn't swim. You cried when my dog died." The yellow light flickered. "You are not real," she said again, but softer now. Jay reached out, took her hand. "You're not just code. You're not a weapon. You're Lena, You held on for 10 years. You remembered me. Don't stop now. The light in her other eye pulsed. Then, slowly, the yellow faded. Both eyes turned violet again. She gasped and leaned forward, coughing. Her hand gripped his tightly. Jay held her. Oro walked in, impressed but pretending not to be. Well, I guess. Memory beats mutation. Lena looked up at them. Her voice was quiet, but stronger. They're using the DNA to erase people. Not just the body memories too. That's how they build the fake Earth. They upload those memories into blank copies. Jay frowned. You mean, they take someone's memory and copy it into someone else? Lena nodded. That's why they needed me. My memories of Earth were clear. Full of emotion, real pain. They wanted to use them to create better copies. Oro rubbed his jaw. That means there are people out there, living fake lives, thinking they're you. Thinking they're Jay. Living in a fake Earth that feels real. Jay stared at them. Then that archive. It doesn't just have names. It has identities, personalities, all stolen. Lena stood up slowly. If we destroy it, the whole system breaks. Oro raised a brow. You sure you're ready to go back out there? Lena nodded. I'm done running. Jay smiled faintly. Good, because I think they just found us. Sirens began to wail. Outside, in the black cold of space, Earth command ships dropped out of jump. Fast, silent, deadly. Inside the hidden asteroid base, lights flickered red. Jay, Lena, and Oro ran to the ship. There was no time for planning now. No place left to hide. The enemy had come to stop them. But this time, they weren't alone, and they weren't afraid. The silence didn't last long. Jay felt the first blast hit the asteroid station before the alarm finished its second warning. Tone. The floor jumped under his feet. Loose wires sparked from the ceiling. Somewhere behind them, a pipe burst, steam hissing into the hallway like a scream. He didn't wait. He pulled Lena by the arm and ran. Oro was already ahead, shouting into his comm. Shields down. They cut through the outer defense. We've got 5 minutes. Lena's breath was sharp, but steady. She didn't ask questions. She didn't panic. Jay could see it in her eyes. She was done being scared. Outside the window, Earth Command warships hovered like steel monsters, silent and sharp. They didn't send a warning. They didn't demand surrender. They just opened fire, inside the escape bay. Their stolen ship hummed quietly. Oro had already activated the engines, his fingers flying across the controls. Jay and Lena jumped inside. The moment the door sealed, Oro launched. The hangar exploded behind them. The small ship spun, shook, then tore away from the rock. Enemy. Scanners lit up instantly. 4 interceptors changed course to follow them. Jay grabbed the co-pilot seat. Where do we go? Lena didn't answer right away. She was staring at the navigation screen. Her eyes focused on one blinking point in deep space. A name, a number, a memory. I remember now, she said softly. Where they took me, where they keep the archive. Jay looked at the screen. It wasn't a planet. It wasn't even marked as a base, just a black zone, a dead area. What is it? A mirror station, Lena replied. They'd built it to look like Earth's moon, but inside, it's nothing like the real one. Oro cursed under his breath. That's suicide. Jay turned to him. You said if we get the proof, we break their system. Yes, Oro said, but it's not a normal archive, it's alive. Jay blinked. What? They call it the memory root. It's part machine, part brain. Connected to every fake mind they've ever made. Lena spoke quietly, and it knows me. The ship jerked as a shot grazed their wing. Alarms screamed. Jay held the controls steady. Then we finish this. We get inside. We end it. No one disagreed. They jumped again. Space stretched. Stars bent. The enemy ships vanished behind them, but only for a while. When they came out of the jump, everything went silent again. The mirror moon hung in space like a ghost. From the outside, it looked beautiful white, still, perfect. But Jay didn't trust it. The ship glided toward a hidden dock. The signal Lena sent earlier opened the entrance. No guards. No warning. Too easy. Inside, the place looked empty. Clean. Floors, white walls. No sound. They walked through the halls slowly. Lights followed them, like the station itself was watching. Jay's neck itched. Every time they turned a corner, he expected someone to attack, but no one came until they reached the center. There, inside a glass chamber, floated something that looked almost human, but not quite. It had no face, just skin. No arms, no eyes. But hundreds of cables ran into it. A soft heartbeat sound echoed through the chamber. Lights blinked in strange patterns. Around it, thousands of storage drives blinked, each one holding lives, memories, identities. The memory root. Lena stepped forward. It's awake. A voice came from the walls, calm, smooth. Lena, subject 09, you have returned. Jay froze. Voice knew her. You are here to erase what cannot be erased. Your memories belong to us. Lena didn't flinch. You took everything, but I took it back. You are unstable, the voice replied. You threaten the system. You must be restored. Oro raised his blaster. Try me, freak. The lights turned red. The doors slammed shut. Jay pulled Lena back as machines dropped from the ceiling, half metal, half organic things with wires like hair and arms that buzzed with static. Oro fired first. Jay joined in. Lena didn't run. She walked toward the central terminal. The voice tried again. You cannot destroy us. We are already inside every colony, every system, every fake world. Lena pressed her hand to the terminal. But I'm still real, and you made a mistake. What mistake? I remember. She activated the override. The lights blinked. All around them. The memory drive started to spark. Screens cracked. The voice screamed louder, wilder, almost human now. Jay ran to her. It's collapsing. We have to go. The chamber shook. The glass broke. The creature inside the tank twitched violently. Then the cables snapped. Oro pulled them both back toward the ship. As the station fell apart, Lena looked back one last time. She didn't smile. She didn't cry. She just watched it burn, and for the first time she looked free. Smoke followed them through space like a trail of ghosts. The ship was damaged. One wing flickered in and out of power. The jump engine barely held together. Oro worked with bloody hands, trying to patch the system before it failed completely. Jay sat in silence, staring out the window. Lena stood near the door, not moving. None of them spoke for a long time. Behind them, the mirror moon had collapsed into itself. No signal, no survivors, no backup. The archive was gone. The memory root destroyed. Everything Earth Command had stolen, fake lives, fake minds, fake worlds, had been erased in one flash of truth. But the war wasn't over. Jay looked at her. What happens now? Lena didn't answer. She touched the music box around her neck, the one he gave her long ago, back when they were just children. It didn't play anymore. It had melted slightly in the fire. But she held it anyway, like it still had a heartbeat. Oro finally broke the silence. They'll call us criminals, terrorists. The colonies will believe their lies. No, Jay said. Not all of them. He held up the drive Lena saved before the station collapsed. A copy, a backup. Small, but enough. Names, files, footage. Truth. We send this to the colonies. Every one of them, Jay said. We let people decide for themselves. Oro nodded slowly. You'll be hunted for the rest of your life. I already was, Lena said. She sat beside Jay. He looked at her. For the first time, her hands weren't shaking. You still don't remember everything. he said quietly. No, she replied. But I remember what matters. He smiled. Like what? She turned to him. You, your voice, your dog. The smell of old paint on your porch. The sound of water hitting the roof when it rained. The way I used to write your name on the wall with chalk. Jay swallowed. You really were my neighbor. I still am, she said. Even if I'm something else now. He looked at her, her silver hair, her violet eyes, the glowing lines under her skin. And yet, all he saw was the girl who shared his childhood. The one who pulled him out of the river. The one who had vanished with Earth. The one who came back. You don't look like her, he said softly. But you feel like her. She tilted her head. Do you recognize me now, human? Jay stared at her for a long moment. I do, he said, not because of how you look, but because I never really forgot. The ship jumped again, this time toward a new system. A free one. The signal they sent would reach 12 colonies in hours. By then, everything would change. People would question. Some would believe. Some would fight. The war had only just begun, but Lena leaned back in her seat, watching the stars pass by, and for once, she didn't feel like a weapon or a number. She felt like a person again. The galaxy had tried to erase her, but the memory of a small boy, a broken music box, and a forgotten porch had saved her. The stars ahead were bright, and behind them, Earth Command began to collapse under the weight of its own lies.